For tomorrow's Permian Lamar quarterfinal showdown. Those tickets, 1,000 on the visitor side, 300 on the home side, will go on sale on a first-come, first-served basis at the Ratliff Stadium ticket office beginning at 12:30. The 11-2 Panthers going up against the 11-2 Vikings will be looking for another fired-up, emotional performance like last week, with Coach Gary Gaines hoping that his team can keep that momentum.
Well, I think the momentum factor is certainly something that we had going for us last week, and this round of the playoffs, I don't know why a team would not be ready to play and play it very enthusiastically and maintain that momentum that we had last week. I think the stakes are so high, this being a quarterfinal championship football game with 8 teams left to go in the state, that I would be very disappointed if we didn't maintain that momentum that we had last week, because if we let out any at all, then they're going to beat us.
When facing the dangerous Lamar offense, it's hard to know what defense to use against that very unpredictable unit.
They have so much balance offensively that you have to work hard at stopping the run and the pass. They're throwing the football about 40% of the time, and that poses some problems for your defense in that they're real unpredictable as to when they're going to pass. They just don't pass on passing downs. They'll pass on any down and distance situation, and it gets into a guessing game as to when we want to put heat on the quarterback. And their quarterback, J.J. Joe, is a very fine quarterback, probably the best all-around quarterback that we faced thus far this season.
Should be a great game. Kickoff 2 o'clock. Another quarterfinal action in 4A, the win this weekend.
We'll certainly find out tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock when they kick off, and they're expecting a pretty big crowd. So if you're going to the game, everyone, be sure to leave a little bit early and maybe take a coat in case it gets a little chilly out there. Should be a good one. 2 of the top offensive teams in the state of Texas square off tomorrow at Ratliff, Permian, and Arlington Lamar. And if the Panthers are going to win this game, then they will have to stop the Vikings' heralded quarterback, J.J. Joe. Sheldon H.H. Haygood has the story.
The Lamar Vikings have rolled up over 5,000 yards of offense this year. Quarterback J.J. Joe alone has thrown for more than 2,000 yards. So with this in mind, the Panthers' defense will have its hands full tomorrow.
We've got to play an emotional game to stop Lamar, because they have an explosive offensive team. So we must play a perfect game to stop him.
The defensive line as a whole has to put some pressure on him when he drops back to pass, and I'm sure that our secondary will be there for us when he does get the pass off.
Last week, Mojo's 11 played its finest game of the year against Nimitz. Permian stopped the state's top rushing team with a swarming defense. But this week, the Panthers will face a strong throwing team.
We're going to mix it up some, to keep them off balance and make sure they don't know what we are doing, because if they do know what we're doing, they will be very effective.
We're going to have to play real well, probably to the best that we can to stop them, and show different coverages and not let them know what we're doing in the back end.
Okay, play with a lot of emotion, put some pressure on the quarterback, and mix it up in the secondary. Sounds like the perfect game plan, I think. Sheldon Haygood, Big 2 Sports.
One other note to tomorrow's game. We've talked about the jersey controversy. Well, yes, Permian will be wearing the black. Arlington wanted to wear the dark blue jerseys. They've, worn them all season long and won all their games. But sorry, Arlington, you wear white tomorrow.
That's why they're wearing the black jerseys, so we wouldn't have to wear blue ones. But our parents going to wear blue ones, so it doesn't matter. We're going to win anyway.
Their parents are going to be in the stands wearing their blue, trying to bring them some good luck. So I don't think what color jerseys they're going to be wearing is going to determine who wins this football game.
Maybe they should suit up the parents in the blue jerseys and see if they can beat Permian. Permian will win the game tomorrow, 28-14. High school basketball tonight.
Texas Class 5A high school football battle today for the right to advance to the Final Four. It's the Permian Panthers and the Lamar Vikings from Ratliff Stadium, and our pregame report is brought to you by Western National Bank. Good afternoon and welcome to Ratliff Stadium. Kurt Kaiser with Don Scott and Doug Strickland bringing you the game today. And Don, this near sellout crowd is ready for a good football game.
Well, they're certainly very vocal and the bands are very loud, and this is what high school football is all about. It's an absolutely beautiful day to be out here at Ratliff Stadium, and there's supposed to be 2 very, very good football teams. In fact, I'm sure there are 2 very good football teams, but which one's the better? That's what we're here to find out.
All right, as you look at the pollsters, Doug, Permian a slight 3-point favorite, but this game by most experts pretty well even.
Really is. You got consider the equalizer, the Lamar Vikings defense. They haven't allowed a point in 3 ball games, and when you can do that this time of the year, you're looking pretty strong. The Panthers, though, defensively, they really put some hurt on last week, too, so I think it's going to be a very interesting ball game out here today.
All right, Doug Strickland will stay down here on the sidelines. Don Scott and I will be up in the press box to bring you all the action. We'll be back, though, first to bring you the starting lineups for today's ball game with more of our pregame report after this from Western National Bank.
I'm Gary Gaines, head football coach at Permian High School. We feel like working together.
7-pound senior at the other guard, and John Stockton, a 6'2", 200.
The Permian Panthers and the Arlington Lamar Vikings have played one another just once before, in 1977 in a playoff game in Abilene. In that game, quarterback Vic Vines led the way as the Panthers rolled to a 41-7 victory. Today, the Panthers and the Vikings meet again. The Panthers are coming off a 48-7 romp of Irving Nimitz, a game that saw running back Chris Comer top the 200-yard mark for the second consecutive time. A game in which the Panther defense made all the rules. The Lamar Vikings can play great defense, too. The Vikings have scored 3 straight shutouts in the playoffs. A battle of brawn and pride coming up next.
From Ratliff Stadium in Odessa, it's the 5A quarterfinals in Texas high school football. The Arlington Lamar Vikings versus the Odessa Permian Panthers. And today's game is brought to you by Medessa Telephone, Hollander Chiropractic, Elmore Chrysler Dodge Jeep in Big Spring, Women's and Children's Hospital, Furs Supermarkets, Houston Copeland Insurance, and Diamond Shamrock. Kurt Kaiser with Don Scott from Ratliff Stadium. The captains have met at the center of the field. The captains for the Odessa Permian Panthers, Mike Wenchel, Brian Chavez, and Ivory Christian. And for the Vikings, it was Ron Hagan, J.J. Joe, Ricardo Deckard, Scott Lofton, and Matt Sine.
And the Lamar Vikings won the toss, have elected to receive the ball. Permian will be defending the south goal. They're about ready to get out on the field and get this thing underway, Kurt. This should be one of the better matchups of the year against 2 ball clubs who live and die by defense more than offense.
Both of the teams enter the action with records of 11-2 as the Panthers come onto the field. You saw the banner that the Panthers ran through saying 1 Viking to go. That is a very tough Viking, a Viking team that has not allowed a point in the playoffs, while their offense has scored 108 points, and they have been very, very awesome throughout their 3-0 playoff run, Don.
They lost early in the year a couple of ball games, but since the mid-season time of the year, they have been very, very good. Their big star up front is number 52, Matt Sine. He's a 218-pound senior. He plays both ways, both offense and defense, and understand he is an excellent player on both sides of the football. And, of course, J.J. Joe is the one they write about and they talk about, the quarterback who has somewhat of a gimpy knee, but he throws well off of the wrong foot. He throws well running backwards. He throws the ball on a line with an extremely strong arm, and he is going to be the biggest threat to the Permian defense.
The Vikings coached by Eddie Peach. He has been the only coach the Vikings have ever had since the school opened in 1971. The last 2 years, the Vikings have been the hard luck losers as they tied for the lead in their district 2 years ago in '86. Lost out of the tie-breaking system. Last year tied for second. They lost the game they played with the second-place team. This year they've made it to the quarterfinals, and that quarterfinal game with Odessa Permian is underway. The kick will be taken at the 10-yard line. Fumbled. It's loose. It goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will keep it.
Boy, that's a good luck break for the Vikings to start the ball game because they could have been in deep trouble right there in a hurry. They did fumble the opening kickoff. However, the ball got out of bounds before anyone could control it, so it remains the Viking ball. They'll take over on about the 22-yard line.
We've given you the lineups offensively and defensively for the Vikings and for the Permian Panthers. J.J. Joe, 5'11" senior, the leader on this Viking team, sends a man wide to the right side. Brent Ballou, a man wide to the left side. Single man in the backfield. And that is Ryan Lyons. Joe to throw across the middle. It is intercepted. Lloyd Hill has the ball at the 30-yard line. Hill cuts up at the 20. There's a flag as Hill is brought down at the 15-yard line.
And there will be a clipping call right back here on the 25. So while the Permian Panthers will take over, they're not going to have quite as good a field position as they would have liked. They got a clipping call on the run back. It's at about the 25-yard line, but I believe that occurred after the interception was made.
2 weeks in a row, the first offensive play for the Panther opposition has led to a turnover. Last week it was a fumble recovered at midfield. Permian took it on in. Today it's a pass interception by Lloyd Hill.
And there it is, just a great job of pass defense. There were 6 black shirts back there around the football when it went up in the air. This is the clipping call is going to come right in about somewhere along in here. I'm not sure where it is. You don't see it on the screen. But Lloyd Hill doing a great job of running with the ball after he made the interception. A big break for Permian to start the ball game. They'll take over on the Viking 40-yard line.
And on the first play, it'll be Don Billingsley going wide to the right side. Robert Brown split to the right. Chris Comer, the lone man in the backfield behind quarterback Mike Winchell. Winchell, 6 foot, 165-pound senior. Winchell will throw for the first play. Winchell down the sidelines, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. The man that got through there was Scott Lofton from the linebacker position to put the pressure on Mike Winchell.
Of course, this has been the trademark of the Viking defense, is very, very quick and good penetration. Makes it difficult for the quarterback to throw the football. They got in there very quickly that time, made penetration, hit Winchell before he had time for the patterns to develop downfield.
Along the line, the Panthers will have Clint Duncan at center, Chris Sanford and Jeff Garrett at the guards, tackles Ronnie Beavers and Jared McDougal. Comer again, the lone man in the backfield. Winchell gives it to Comer up the middle. A quick pickup of 1, maybe 2 yards, and that's all. Matt Sine from his defensive tackle spot was the man that made the big hit on Chris Comer, and he had some help from David Mundy and friends.
Right, some good, hard-nosed defensive play, and of course that's what this game was billed as, and that certainly is the way it's starting out.
So a 2-yard pickup for Chris Comer as Alan Wiles practices on the sidelines, but too far out for a field goal as they're at the 38-yard line of the Vikings, coming down on the 11-minute mark. Winchell sprints out to throw, has time, gets it away, and it's incomplete. Intended for Lloyd Hill, well covered, but it was thrown over Hill, so the Panthers are stopped on their first offensive series, and it'll be Travis West into punt.
Ball's just thrown a little bit high here. That primarily could be because of the defensive pressure. Winchell had to get the ball up a little bit high for Lloyd Hill. Sailed over his head. He was in position to catch the ball.
Back deep to receive, it'll be Montrese Turner, along with Chad Cannon. There's a snap, a low one. West will get it away. The kick will go into the end zone, and it'll be brought back out to the 20-yard line. And so that's where the Vikings will begin their second offensive series. The first one ending in an interception. The defense does their job, and the Viking offense is back out there in a hurry.
And this large and very vocal crowd from Arlington Lamar on hand today, and they've got some things to cheer about early. Their defense playing well to start the ball game, and of course the black defense from Permian also playing very well to start.
That was Tam Hollingshead, defensive coordinator for the Panthers. You saw on the sidelines. He'll be calling the signals for his team out there. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Joe again has Lyons in his backfield, hands it to Lyons, and he's hit hard. Right up the middle, Ivory Christian from his middle linebacker spot made the first hit on Lyons.
Something that fans in the Odessa end of the world may not be used to are the wide splits that you're going to see in the Lamar line. They take some very, very wide splits in their offensive line there, and Permian that time was shooting the gaps. They guessed right, and we're in the right spot to stop it.
10.5 minutes left in the first quarter and counting down. No pickup on the last play. 2nd and 10 with receivers to the right and the left. That is Jay Eubanks going out wide to the left side. No, going off the field, in fact, right now. Too many men on the field. Joe is back to throw. J.J. Joe completes it. As the pass goes to Chad Cannon, he is hit as he catches it at the 28-yard line, setting up a 3rd and short.
Good pattern this time by Cannon as he comes out here. Got some pressure coming from behind, but it didn't quite get there in time. Chad Payne on the coverage and drops him immediately after catching it, setting up 3rd down, 2 yards to go.
Ball spotted at the 28-yard line, just short of the 28. Coming to the right side, Brent Ballou. Out to the left, it is Jeff Andrews. And it's Ryan Lyons behind the quarterback, J.J. Joe. 3rd and 2. The pitch comes back to Lyons. He has a first down. Tripped up by Cotty Dean as he went over the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Vikings.
Good attack on the corner this time. The linebackers for Permian playing a little bit off as they're very conscious, of course, of the passing attack of J.J. Joe and the Lamar Vikings, and they were playing back a little bit deeper than perhaps they normally would be.
We welcome viewers not only from KOSA TV in Odessa, but also Arlington Telecable, enjoying this telecast here this afternoon or this evening, whenever you happen to be watching the replay of this quarterfinal game. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Joe, handoff, hit hard is Ryan Lyons. Lyons hit by Brian Johnson, picking up about a yard, but a very tough yard.
Watch this hit. He does a great job of trailing coming from the backside of the play and really hitting him. Ivory Christian also in there to help out on the stop, along with Cotty Dean.
You see the Vikings sidelines, Coach Eddie Beach, head coach since '71. His Viking team did reach the quarterfinals in 1977, only to be beaten by Permian. They faced the Panthers again in the quarterfinal round. 2nd and 9 from the 35. 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Joe fakes the handoff to Lyons, looks to throw. Joe pressured, gets it away, incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Robert Linder. As he could not come up with it, it'll be 3rd and long.
Joe was hit pretty hard about the time he released the ball that time. Pressure coming in up through from the outside. It's a blitzing linebacker. No, it's Billy Steen that comes in. David Fierro, I believe it was, that came in and hit him. The coverage was close, but he could have made a reception out of that.
And let's take you down to the sidelines to Doug Strickland.
Curtain down while the Panther defense is trying to shut down Lamar. The offense has been working over on the chalkboard over here. A lot of penetration coming up over the middle in the defensive front. Let's go back upstairs.
Warren Waters comes wide to the right side. Receiver to the left. Again, Lyons in the backfield behind Joe. 3rd and 9. The fake to Lyons. Joe looks to throw again. Pressured by Brian Johnson. Johnson does not get him. Joe evades it. Now Joe will be hit and brought down short of a first down. The Panther defense was there, led by Stan Wilkins, Ivory Christian. Felipe Davila was also over there. A good team effort by the Permian defense.
Did a great job of stopping them that time, and that's when J.J. Joe is the most dangerous. Of course, Brian Johnson, his deep penetration right here, almost gets Joe right there, and he stumbled him, slowed him down just a little bit, gives time for some of the others to get outside. Felipe Davila and Wilkins among the leaders.
So the Vikings do pick up a first down, but that's as far as they go, and there's the punt. A long, high, deep punt will be taken inside the 20-yard line by Lloyd Hill. Hill will get back to the 19, but that's as far as he will go. A great job on the kicking team as Trey Ward did a nice job of getting that kick on down the field. You see the Viking fans on the far side, and they're yellow, congratulating their team on doing a good job on the kick coverage.
And the Odessa fans, of course, on their black on this side are doing a lot of yelling also. This is a not quite a full house stadium today, but there's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15,000 people on hand.
Hill and Brown come out to the left side. Backs are split in the backfield. Chris Comer and Don Billingsley. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Panthers' second offensive series will begin with Don Billingsley carrying for about a yard, maybe 2, trying to go outside, not finding any place to run with the ball as the Vikings strung it out. David Vasilik was out there, 6 foot, 180-pound senior, to make the hit.
Okay, and of course, Coach Gaines on the near sideline trying to figure out something we need to do next here to see if we can get some offense cranked up for the Permian Panthers. The Lamar defense, very, very tough. They were heralded that way, and they're playing that way.
2-yard pickup for Billingsley. Winchell to throw. Winchell will have Lloyd Hill. Hill will have a first down. Hill brought down. No, he's still on his feet. Lloyd Hill goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He did step out of bounds. Panther fans saw 6 in front of him, but it'll be a first down for the Panthers.
Okay, this is just the quick out pattern that Lloyd Hill and Winchell have hooked up on many, many times this year. Lloyd Hill, they've got to respect his speed and ability. He makes a good move right here to get past the first tackler. Then he's coming upfield and gets pushed over here, steps out of bounds. right back there on about the 40-yard line. He was out of bounds.
Clock will stop with 6:52 to go in the first quarter. No score. Panthers at their own 40-yard line. Man in motion is Brian Chavez. Winchell hands it off to Chris Comer. Comer stays on his feet. Comer goes through the tacklers at the 50-yard line. What a great run by Chris Comer. It looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tremendous drive and balance to pick up a first down.
Best offensive run of the day by either team, as Chris Comer is supposed to go inside with that. He takes it outside, shoves off the first tackle, puts a hand down, keeps his balance, bounces off of another one, spins, and drives ahead to pick up a first down on the about the 47-yard line of the Vikings.
Hill to the left, Brown to the right. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Panthers in Viking territory at the 47. Backs are set to the left side. Winchell to throw a quick one across the middle. No, to the left side instead. To Lloyd Hill has it. Hill will go out of bounds and be near another first down. It will be a first down as Warren Waters pushed him out of bounds. The Panthers doing it through the air and on the ground.
Best drive by Odessa Permian by far for the day. They've picked up 3 consecutive first downs now. Lloyd Hill, the little patterned out pattern that he and Winchell love to run. And then Lloyd Hill just takes the ball and does it on his own after that.
13-yard run, 12-yard pass as the Panthers 1st and 10 at the Viking 35. 6:17 left in the first quarter as Winchell hands it off to Billingsley. Billingsley at the 30. Billingsley inside the 25-yard line. A flag will come out as Billingsley went down. Great run by Don Billingsley, but Sean Tippler brought him to the turf.
I'm not sure what the call is here. I think it was a face mask call, but there also was a couple of Panthers in there that may have been called on something else, but let's see.
Mike Winchell over there.
It.
Clock stopped, 6:11 to go in the first quarter. Panthers started this drive from their own 19-yard line with 7:33 to go. A minute and a half later, they're in Viking territory. The face masking call against the Vikings.
Big break for the Odessa Permian Panthers here. Let's take a look and see if we can see it on the replay as Billingsley essentially turns it up inside. Does a good job of running, breaking loose from one tackle there. There it is right there. It was incidental face mask, and that's what they called. A 5-yard penalty, but that gives the Odessa Permian Panthers the first move inside the 20-yard line. They run one play successfully here, and they've got the first penetration of the ball game.
The clock will start coming down on the 6-minute mark. Robert Brown to the left. Full house backfield behind Winchell with Chavez tight on the right. Mike Winchell gets it back to Lloyd Hill. Hill will go inside the 15-yard line, stay in bounds as he is tackled at the 11 by Ron Hagan.
Okay, you might keep track of this. Good run here by Lloyd Hill. As you watch this, remember that the first tiebreaker in any high school football game in the playoffs that ends in a tie is the number of penetrations. And Odessa Permian just picked up one by running inside the 20-yard line. So in that category, at least they are leading.
A 6-yard pickup by Hill. It's 2nd and 4. Hill to the left, Brown to the right, Winchell to throw, completed to Lloyd Hill. Hill inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Permian. Warren Waters brought him down.
Viking cornerbacks continue to play off of Lloyd Hill, and as long as they do, Mike Winchell will keep throwing this pass. It's not a big gainer, but it'll nickel and dime you. And as long as they play back, then he's going to continue to throw the ball to that little short, quick out pattern to Lloyd Hill.
1st and goal, Permian at the 3-yard line. The Panther fans on their feet at Ratliff Stadium. Mike Winchell to Chris Comer. Comer will be stopped short inside the 1-yard line. Chris Comer was brought down, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I think they're going to mark it right on the 1-yard line.
Permian trying to break the streak of shutouts that has been recorded by the Vikings in the playoffs. They have not been scored on in postseason play. 2nd and goal from the 1. Winchell to Comer. That's a mojo touchdown. Chris Comer takes it in, and the streak for the Vikings is over.
Good hard run this time by Comer as he simply just drives it up inside. The offensive line for Permian got just enough movement to make it work, and now they're going to try the extra point, try to make 7s out of 6s here, and absolutely no wind at this stadium today. A little bit of a breeze perhaps blowing out of the south, but boy, it's almost calm.
Try for the point after. Stan Wilkins will hold. Alan Wiles will kick. The snap is back, and it's through the uprights. With 4 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Permian has broken on top. It's 7-0. Panthers. We'll be back with more.
Chris Comer going for the touchdown there to put the Panthers on top early on in this football game. One thing the Panthers have done, they talked about it in the huddle, at least on the offensive side last time around, trying to get outside more. With that, they run the stop-and-go pattern from Winchell to Hill. It's hard to defense. Hill can go long, or he can keep it short. This time they keep it short. Don't be surprised if you see Hill try to break one long one of these plays if he gets the chance. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you, Doug. The scoring drive for Permian taking 3 minutes and 12 seconds, 81 yards on 9 plays. Felipe Davila has it teed up and kicks it on down the field. The kick will be taken at the 5-yard line. Back come the Vikings with it, and will be brought down at the 21-yard line. Cody Paris, the ball carrier, brought down by David Fierro.
Good job that time of the Permian kick defense, special teams getting downfield to cover it. This is crucial time for the Vikings. I know it's very early in the ball game, but they need to get their offense cranked up. And J.J. Joe is the man that's under the center, and he's the man who runs that offense.
The drive will start with 4 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Vikings will start it from their 21-yard line. The pitch comes back to Ricardo Deckard. Deckard with running room, tripped up as he goes across the 25-yard line by Cotty Dean.
Mr. Deckard's a good football player. Watch this. He has some great moves, and he really accelerates here as he comes up to the line of scrimmage. Right there, he plants his foot and turns it on, and Cotty Dean just barely did get a hold of him. He could have made a whole lot more yardage if Cotty Dean hadn't got an ankle.
First chance we've had to see Deckard today. He comes in with 945 yards, averaging over 5 yards per carry. 5'10", 195-pound senior. 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup by Deckard, who remains in the backfield behind Joe and has the football again. Has a first down as Deckard will take it across the 30-yard line down to the 34-yard line.
Okay, Coach Peach and his team are beginning to attack at the corners and the off-tackle slots as they are feeling that the Permian defense is trying to play pass defense, and they must be very cognizant of the pass because J.J. Joe can throw the football. So they're attacking there at the corners, trying to pull that defense in and up on the line a little bit more so that they can open up the passing lanes.
3:20 and counting down left in the first quarter of play. Permian leading 7-0. The Vikings have it 1st and 10 from their own 34. Again, Deckard behind J.J. Joe. Joe fakes it and brings it the other way to Jay Eubanks. Eubanks will take it across the 35. Greg Sweat out of his linebacker slot along with Chad Payne in on the tackle.
Watch this as they use a little misdirection, a little counteraction coming back in this way, and the linebackers in there to make the stop. Nice pickup on first down, sets up 2nd and 6 for the Vikes.
Man coming wide to the right side is Jeff Andrews. Out to the left, it's Chad Cannon. Man split to the left as well. Man one in the backfield is Deckard. 2nd and 5 from the 39. Joe hands it off to Deckard. He's hit hard as he gets to the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3. Ivory Christian making the big hit.
Ivory Christian in there, Billy Steen, Felipe Davila, all of them in there to help make that stop that time as they bring up a 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. A 3rd and basically what you have to call long distance on 3rd down. Should bring out the passing arm of J.J. Joe.
Under the 2-minute mark, left in the first quarter. Permian fans urging on their defense. The Viking fans on the far side would like a first down on 3rd and 3 from the 41. Joe drops back to throw. Joe has time to run for a first down, and that's what he will do. First down for the Vikings. Joe takes it to the 45-yard line. Chad Payne finally brought him down.
Very good deep secondary coverage by Odessa Permian that time, as they were all over the receivers going downfield, but that also left J.J. Joe and his quick feet time to get outside and move up. He's got a lead blocker out there in front of him that's trying to help him a little bit, and Chad Payne's the one that finally comes over and makes the stop.
The ball spotted at the 46-yard line. Cannon comes out to the right. Split to the right is Eubanks. Receiver to the left as well. 1st and 10 from the 46, up the middle to Deckard. Ricardo Deckard tries the middle of the Panther line and will pick up a quick 4 yards out to midfield. Ivory Christian on the hit, along with Billy Steen. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 with the ball right at the 50-yard line.
Good defensive struggle going on. Now both offenses have been able to crank up. The Permian offense cranked up for a good long drive, and the Viking offense moving very well right now.
2nd and 6 Vikings. Ryan Lyons back in there now as a single setback. And Joe wants time. J.J. Joe will call timeout with 41 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. And the Panthers owning the early 7-0 lead. Joe apparently looked over the Panther defense and saw something he wasn't familiar with and alertly called a timeout and goes to the sidelines to talk it over with Coach Eddie Peach and his staff.
Well, the Permian defense that time made some shifts after the line was down and set, and I think whatever play J.J. Joe had called, he saw was going absolutely nowhere because there was someone sitting right in the hole. So he wisely called timeout, uses it to try to get the right play in, the right defense. Of course, you can bet that the Permian coaches will probably change the defense. So the guessing game is going.
It'll be 2nd and 6 at the 50 when we get back to action after that timeout has been called. And let's take it down to the sidelines to Doug Strickland.
Curtain down, quite a contrast from last week's ball game. You know, the Gatorade's going pretty strong here today, as it's a very warm day here down on the football field. Timeout's just about over. Let's go back upstairs.
2nd and 6. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and the one in the backfield is Ryan Lyons. Now they change Brent Ballou to the other side. He's on the left side, short side of the field. J.J. Joe looks to throw, drops deep, airs it down the field, and it will be incomplete. The pass was intended for Jeff Andrews over his head at the 20-yard line.
It was a long throw, a good long throw. Let's take a look at this here. He's getting some pressure from number 44, Brian Johnson, who got a little horse-collared there as he tried to make a move around that defensive end. Or offensive tackle, I'm sorry. He's the defensive end.
Joe has a very deep drop. He just takes that snap and goes back about 10 yards and looks for his receivers then. 3rd and 6 at midfield. 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Joe fakes the handoff, looks to throw. It'll be batted down, intercepted by Permian. Billy Steen caught it after it was batted in the air.
That's a defensive lineman's dream. Defensive lineman's dream. They never get to touch the football, but Billy Steen gets there, and let's see who bats the ball this time. It's coming, I think it's Brian Johnson once again. He's been putting the pass rush on all afternoon. He gets up in the air and bats the ball, and Billy Steen, the two technique, ball's back out of the pile and makes the interception.
Too tall, Brian Johnson. Sweet Pea does it again. 1st and 10 Permian from their own 47. Winchell to throw. Winchell drops the ball, picks it up. He's down at the 40-yard line. They call it an incomplete pass now. Is that right?
No,
they put it back there. Okay, they said he was...
No. Not unless they missed the call, as they did. He dropped the football. He picked it up. He dropped. Yes, he fumbled the ball, picks it up, and was lucky to get that ball back.
That's exactly what they called, an incomplete pass.
They called it an incomplete pass. Okay.
I saw the official making some indication.
I told you after last week, I'll be nice. I'm not going to talk about officials.
26 seconds to go in the first quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10 Permian. Winchell has Villa and Hill out to the left. He'll keep it on the ground to Don Billingsley, and Billingsley will take it into Viking territory. Scott Lofton brings him down before Billingsley takes the ball just short of the 45-yard line.
Obviously, the Viking defense is keying on Comer, and that's leaving some cracks for Billingsley. They fake the handoff to Comer, and there's several people there to meet him, but Billingsley has a little room to the outside.
And that will be the last play of the first quarter as it zeros on the scoreboard clock at Ratliff. And the Panthers, after one complete at Ratliff Stadium, have the early lead in the ball game. After one complete, Odessa Permian, 7. Arlington Lamar, nothing. 45-yard line. The pitch comes back to Comer. Chris Comer will be stopped short of a first down.
Very, very, well, they're going to mark him a yard short. He pushed his way a little bit further forward, but he is about a yard short of the first down. Going to bring up a fourth down and just almost exactly a yard and a foot. Call it 4 feet.
So for the second time today, the Panthers will be forced to punt. And that's something they're not used to doing, punting a lot in a football game. Travis West will drop deep. He'll get the kick away from about his own 45-yard line. No pressure. There's the kick. It'll bounce inside the 20-yard line. It will head out of bounds at the 10.5.
Excellent kick that time. That's the kind of kick you want when you're down in that field position, because that ball goes out of bounds down on the 11-yard line, and that sets up the Vikings with about, let's call it 89 yards of real estate in front of them.
So it'll be 1st and 10. They'll spot it just short of the 11-yard line with 11 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first half of play. J.J. Joe will send Jeff Andrews out to the left side. Joe, 5 attempts, 1 completion for 7 yards, 2 interceptions so far, and our stats from Craig Freeman today. Handoff. Vikings keep it on the ground and have running room. It was Ryan Lyons, finally brought down by Brian Johnson.
Lyons, good ball carrier here, as he makes a good move to the outside when he sees it's clogged up inside and makes some good yardage before Johnson can peel off from his defensive end slot, make the tackle, but give him a gain of about 7 or 8 yards on the first carry. That sets up second and short. That's a good yardage situation.
Lyons came in with 800 yards on the year, over 6.5 yards per carry. 2nd and 3 from the 18. Joe gets it back to Lyons. He'll try the right side. Lyons has a first down. As he takes it across the 25-yard line, Cotty Dean brings him down, but not before another first down by the Vikings.
Good play. Ivory Christian also out there as he gets out here and gets in on this tackle also. Good job of blocking, good job of playing. No, he didn't get in on the tackle. Strictly Cotty Dean that got there.
The ball out to the 28-yard line. So the Vikings out of a little bit of a hole when they started at the 11. 1st and 10 at the 28, 10-15 and counting left in the second quarter. Joe looks to throw. Joe airs it out, long, deep for Andrews. It's incomplete. Off the hands of Jeff Andrews at the 25-yard line. Stan Wilkins back defending.
But Andrews had a good step on Wilkins that time. He was wide open. If this ball had been thrown just about 3 inches shorter, might have been pay dirt time for the Vikings. Great throw. He's got a great arm, throws the ball way downfield, and it's just off his fingertips as he had a step on the defender.
So with the incompletion, the clock will stop with 10:10 to go in the first half. 2nd and 10, Vikings from their 28. Andrews will come out wide to the left side again. Man is tight. No, there's a man wide to the right as well. Joe hands it off. Short pickup by Ryan Lyons. No, instead that was Deckard that's back in there. Ricardo Deckard, Brian Johnson, and Ivory Christian combining to make the hit.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a good ball game so far, Kurt. You have the feeling that the Lamar Vikings can explode at any time. That last pass that J.J. Joe threw down the field traveled about 65 yards in the air. That's a whale of an arm.
Waters goes to the right, Andrews to the left. 3rd and 8 Vikings from the 30-yard line. Joe looks to throw. Joe across the middle. It is completed to Andrews. Jeff Andrews caught it. Stan Wilkins defending, and I wasn't sure for a moment if Wilkins had it or if Andrews did, and it was Jeff Andrews that came up with it.
About as good a pass defense as you can play, but this is a perfectly thrown football. no pressure on Joe this time as he's got time to throw, and when he does, he can thread the needle. He dropped it right in there, and Andrews did a great job of catching the football.
First and 10 Vikings from their own 44, coming down on the 9-minute mark. Joe flips it out right side to Lyons. Lyons brought down from behind by Steve Womack. But still a good pickup on first down, as Lyons will take the ball just short of midfield as they'll spot it at the 48-yard line, a 4-yard gain.
Good job of running that time. Lamar's doing a great job of mixing up their offense. They're running it inside, they're running outside, and they're throwing the ball well. This is a good football team.
2nd and 6. Andrews goes to the left. Eubanks to the right. Joe to throw. Screen. Completed. First down and more. Lyons has the ball at the 30. Lyons brought down at the 21-yard line. Stan Wilkins and Cotty Dean bring him down. But on the screen, the Vikings are knocking on the door.
Somebody's watched the Dallas Cowboys play a little bit here. This is the Cowboys' favorite middle screen. Watch as all the linemen let the defensive line just blow past it. He just drops it over their head to the back in the middle, and he's got the lineman in front of him. Does a great job, gets some good blocks right there downfield, and does a great job carrying the football. Back to action.
First and 10 Lamar at the Permian at 21-yard line. Movement along the line. Flags will fly with Matt Sign that came off his position a little early. We'll wait for the indication. It will go against the Vikings. And again, as you get to this stage on the field, Don, you not only look for the points, but as you mentioned earlier, you look at the penetration, and that pushes them 5 yards further back from a penetration. Andrews comes out to the left. Eubanks to the right. J.J. Joe hands it off. Hit in the backfield. Ryan Lyons by Ivory Christian.
Christian coming on a blitz that time. Just meets him in the backfield and makes a great job of tackling him right there and stopping him. Actually, he wasn't on a blitz. He was simply filling the hole. And he stepped up in the hole, saw where the ball was, and went after it.
The ball spotted back to the 28, so a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 17. 7:20 left in the first half. The Vikings trying to tie it up now. They trail 7-0. Joe looks to throw. Joe pressured, gets away from it, throws it out of the end zone, and
almost out of the stadium.
Yeah. Tossed it a long way.
Fans on this side are screaming about what they thought was holding that time on Brian Johnson, but the official was standing right there on top of the play. No flag came down.
This drive for the Vikings started from their own 11-yard line with 11:15 to go in the quarter. There's see the play again.
J.J. Joe has got a great arm, and he can throw the ball when he's moving.
Andrews to the left.
Action.
Cannon to the right. 3rd and 17 from the 28-yard line. Joe looks to throw. Pressured. Gets it away. Incomplete. No one was there. A flag will fly.
He hit the back of the head of one of his offensive linemen who was way downfield, and I think that's going to be an illegal receiver downfield, which is loss of down, and that will hurt.
It will be a loss of down as Robert Brown comes out patting his helmet. Or maybe
that's the call.
Illegal
receiver downfield, and that hurts. That's a bad penalty call at this point of the ball game.
The Vikings do have a very fine field goal kicker. That may just take them out of range. Coach Eddie Peach having the call explained to him now.
Officials talking to Coach Peach on the sideline. He's about 4 or 5 yards out on the field. He wants to talk to someone. He says, "Hey, what's going on out here?" Fourth down coming up now for the Vikings as Permian turns down the penalty. I may have made a boo-boo there, Kurt, when I said loss of down. I believe that rule has been changed in high school football. It's no longer a loss of down.
So the Vikings will try for a field goal as Trey Ward, their fine kicker, will tee it up. A 46-yard field goal attempt by Trey Ward. The snap back, the ball down. The kick is long, but it will be off to the left and no good. So the Vikings come up short. The Panther defense has held. 6:59 left to go in the second quarter. Permian continues to lead 7-0. We'll be back at their offense back out on the field. 6:59 to go in the half. 1st and 10 from their own 28. Winchell to throw to Hill. He has it. Hill at the 35-yard line, brought down to the 37. And again, the Panthers doing it through the air. The completion, Mike Winchell to Lloyd Hill, has worked successfully. Brent Ballou making the big hit.
Okay, just in case people are keeping track, that was not a penetration that time by Arlington Lamar, as they did not get inside the 20-yard line. There's the catch by Hill. Did a great job on that first move of getting outside, but he ran back inside into Mr. Ballou, who welcomed him to the turf.
Ball at the 36. It'll be second and about 1.5 yards to go. Up the middle to Chris Comer, and Comer has a first down. David Velasic brought him down. Chris Comer has come in with 200-yard games his last 2 times out in the playoffs. And that's one of the things the Vikings wanted to stop today, which they have done so far, is contained Chris Comer.
Well, they're doing a great job of containing Chris Comer. And Velasic, I believe, is the man's name.
I apologize to all of David's relatives. I'll say David V from now on, just to be safe.
Mr. V.
1st and 10 Permian, just shy of the 40-yard line. Winchell to roll out himself with the ball. Winchell picks up a tough 4 yards to the 44-yard line.
That's a play you don't see a whole lot this year from the Permian Ball Club, as they don't normally use the quarterback much in a running position.
Let's take you down to the sidelines to Doug Strickland.
Curtin Don, big series that time for the Permian defense. Very important that they didn't allow Lamar a penetration. Permian now up 1-0 in penetrations. It may come into play later. Back upstairs.
2nd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Winchell to throw. Winchell airs it down to Hill, trying to catch up with it. Can't do so. Mike Winchell tried to lead him very well.
Excellent pass defense that time by Warren Waters, as he did a great job of covering Winchell as he went down the field on the stop-and-go pattern. He sprinted out like he was going to run that little fade like they've been, or the little hook pattern or out pattern like they've been running, and then broke it off and went downfield. Waters wasn't fooled. He was right there.
Clock will stop with 5:17 to go in the first half of play. Lloyd Hill will come out wide to the right side. Don Billingsley to the left. Robert Brown split left. Chris Comer in the backfield behind Mike Winchell. Chavez in motion. Pitch comes to Comer. Comer will be stopped short of a first down. Comer picks up a couple, but Brent Ballou was there to bring him to the turf. And again, that Viking defense does a great job of stopping the Panthers.
Good play this time by the linebackers and the front line as they were on Comer from the time he took the handoff, and did a great job. Viking defense is outstanding.
Panthers back to kick it away again. Travis West. Good snap. The kick away, high and deep, inside the 20, inside the 10, but it goes into the end zone. Panthers were hoping for the bounce, but it did not go their way. But a great job by Travis West.
Good job of kicking, good job of defense by the Viking defense that time. And now here comes the black-shirted Mojo bunch back out there and see what they can do on defense. This game was predicted by most of the coaches around the country as being a tough defensive battle, and that's exactly what it's shaping up to. Both ball clubs averaging 35-plus points per game going into this game, but I don't think you're going to see that today.
Andrews comes out to the left, receiver to the right. J.J. Joe, 1st and 10 from the 20, keeps it on the ground. Running room for Lions initially, but the Permian defense closes around him in a hurry. Ryan Lyons brought down by Brian Johnson. When he first went outside, I thought he had a lot of room.
Well, he did have some room as he came outside, as Ivory Christian missed him there, but the containment was out there in the form of Stan Wilkins. He made him turn it back up inside, and when he did, the linebackers were waiting.
Coming down on the 4-minute mark, a 3-yard pickup for Lions and the Vikings. It is 2nd and 7 from the 23. Joe gets it back to Lions. Lions cuts upfield. Billy Steen was there to bring him down at the 25 along with Ivory Christian. And it'll be 3rd and 5.
Tell you what, there's some hitting going on down there in that line. Watch the play in the trenches as there's some really tough hits going on. Billy Steen did a great job coming from the backside this time as he made the tackle coming on from the backside of the play.
Big play now, 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. From the 25-yard line. Brent Ballou comes wide left. Andrews goes to the right. Joe fakes a handoff, gets it away, and it is completed. First down, Vikings. As Robert Linder is brought down.
Robert Linder, what does Robert Linder weigh? That's a large young man.
Linder, 201 pounds.
Boy, it's every bit there. He does a great job, and I don't know how Joe got that ball with anything on it, but like we said, he throws with his back foot, off foot, any other foot, and does a great job of running after they catch the football. Good play.
1st and 10 Vikings from their own 35-yard line. Under the 3-minute mark. Joe looks to throw. Flag will fly. The pass is completed. The Vikings are going into the end zone. We'll check the yellow marker.
A holding call back here at the inception of the play. There is a holding call there. Back judge threw that one almost immediately. It was thrown even before the pass was launched.
And that's why the celebration did not last very long for the Viking fans. And the Panther fans will cheer the holding call, which will bring back 6.
Boy, I tell you what, it's a beautiful play. You can watch for the flag to come in. It comes in very early here. The holding is right there in the middle of the line, and there's the flag came down. But watch this catch and run. Great job of playing pass and catch football as he was long gone, and there wasn't anyone going to catch him.
That's Chad Cannon, who thought he had a touchdown, but the flag will bring it all back.
Break that time for the Vikings, and I'm sure they're going to say, look, no more holding out there, folks. Got to block them, don't hold them.
The clock will stop with 2:45 left in the first half. It is 1st and 20 now after the penalty. Waters will go to the right side. 1st and 20 from the 25. Eubanks has the ball. Eubanks will be brought down by Ivory Christian.
Tried a little misdirection reverse that time, and Ivory Christian just simply was not fooled by the play. He followed through, watched the pulling guard go past, and then stepped behind him and brought down the runner for another loss on the play.
It'll be 2nd down and 20. They'll say no gain. Ball remaining at the 25-yard line. Joe to throw. Right side. It is incomplete. Intended for Jeff Andrews on the right side. Cotty Dean defending, thrown over his head, so it'll be 3rd and 20.
Permian trying to put pressure up the middle now instead of coming outside with the pressure, and they're just not getting to Joe, and he's got some time to throw, but he had to throw that one a little high trying to get over the defender.
There's 2 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the first half. Permian leading 7-0. Vikings need a long gain now to pick up a first down. 3rd and 20 from their own 25. Joe looks back to throw. Pressured, gets it away on the screen to Lyons. Lyons has running room and will be stopped short of a first down. Lyons will be stopped about 2 yards shy.
Middle screen again, and it almost did it again. A great gain on the play, a pickup of about 18 yards. Problem is they needed 20. Punting team coming on the field. Lyons does a good job of running with the football after he catches it, weaving his way up through there.
Trey Ward will drop back to kick. Robert Brown, Lloyd Hill, and Stan Wilkins back to receive. There's Lloyd Hill. And there's the kick from Ward. It will go inside the 15 and be taken by Lloyd Hill. Hill needs help and doesn't get it. He'll be brought down at the 13-yard line.
1 minute, 13 seconds left to go in the first half of play. Permian is hanging on tenaciously to a very narrow 7-0 lead in this ball game, as two very fine defensive football teams have been on the field the first half here, Kurt.
It'll be 1st and 10 Panthers with at the 14-yard line. The Vikings have 2 timeouts remaining. The Panthers all 3. See if the Vikings are inclined to call those timeouts to try to stop the Panthers and then have another shot at getting it in the end zone. Hill and Brown to the right. Mike Winchell hands it off to Chris Comer. Comer up the middle will get it to the 19-yard line. Brent Ballou made the stop after a 5-yard pickup by Comer.
Draw play this time as Chris Comer delays for a moment. Set it up looking like a pass play. Hands off to Comer on the draw. He finds a little room up the middle. He got a couple of good blocks in there in the middle of the line. Picked up about 4 or 5 yards. Brings it out to the 20. Gives him a little operating room.
The clock continues to move down to the 45-second mark as Winchell looks to the air, finds Lloyd Hill. No, it's incomplete. It was Warren Waters defending on the play.
Unfortunately, that also, as far as the Permian fans are concerned, that also stops the clock.
So that clock will stop with 42 seconds left to go. Mike Winchell returning to the huddle after the call from Coach Gary Gaines. You see pacing the sidelines. Hill will come to the right, Brown to the left. 3rd and 4 Panthers. Winchell to throw to Hill. Incomplete again. The same play, and the Panthers will be forced to kick with a 4th down in front of them.
And Lamar has 2 timeouts left, as they were not forced to use any of them during that series, and that means that Lamar is going to get the ball back with plenty of time to run 4 or 5 plays.
Travis West back inside his own 10-yard line to get the kick. A heavy rush, but West gets it out of there with a nice boot. Chad Cannon calls the fair catch and will take it at the 45-yard line. So West, a good kick to put it out to the 45, but the Vikings have 31 seconds to try to get something on the board.
31 seconds, excellent field position on their own 45-yard line, and J.J. Joe has already shown us that he can throw the ball that far.
And not only looking for 6 points, but I think they would like even the 3. And with a kicker like Trey Ward, that is very, very possible. 1st and 10 Vikings from their own 45-yard line. Joe looks to throw, pressured, and he will be brought down. He got back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, will pick up a yard. Ivory Christian made the hit, and the timeout will be called by Joe. With 10 seconds elapsed off the clock, so there's 21 seconds remaining.
When J.J. Joe when J.J. Joe starts moving like that, it's got to cause Coach Peach to have almost have a heart attack, because the young man is an excellent football player. He does have a gimpy knee, and he got twisted around 2 or 3 times on that run. So that's not something that I'm sure that Coach Peach likes to really see. He likes to see him get out there and run and then either get out of bounds or get in the end zone with it.
And there's the Viking offense. You saw Coach Tam Hollingshead visiting with Ivory Christian and Stan Wilkins on the Permian sidelines. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 47-yard line.
And if you'll watch the Permian's deep secondary, they're lined up about 32 or 4 yards off of the ball. They're lined clear back up at their own 25-yard line. As a 3 deep, they say, let him throw it, put some pressure on him, make him throw the football.
And Joe is brought down from behind by Steve Womack. Another timeout, the final timeout called by the Vikings. 11 seconds left.
Watch this. This is a great play by Steve Womack as he simply slides past the blockers and drops him for a sack. And that was a big, big play. But the Permian secondary, we had a real wide shot of the field. You can see them lined up. They're 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 yards off of the football. And as quick as the ball snapped, they drop another 5 yards back.
Don, there's no time to relax, though, against Lamar. We saw what they did with one play, the one that was called back. And even when you have the team 3rd and 12 at their own 45, there's no way that this Permian defense can relax at all.
That's right. And they're playing, they'll let them have anything up to 30 yards as long as they don't have time to kick a field goal when they get through having it.
Waters to the right, Andrews to left, Joe to throw. Joe pressured, gets it away, completed. That's Deckard. Deckard has the ball, and he is down to the 25-yard line, and there will be no time. No, there's 1 second on the clock. They do not have any timeouts.
As soon as they move the chains, the clock will start. They've got to be lined up and on the line of scrimmage. As quick as that chain is set down, they will snap the ball. They'll have one play now.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Time ran out. They didn't make it.
And the first half of play has ended at Ratliff Stadium. The Permian Panthers with a touchdown in the first half, in the first quarter of play, have taken the lead, and we have just one touchdown on the board. It belongs to Permian. Let's take you down to the sidelines right now to Doug Strickland.
Good tight ball game at the half, pretty much playing into Permian's hands. One thing the Panthers are going to have to make an adjustment on in the locker room at halftime is this passing ability of J.J. Joe. He's looked real strong from down here on the field. Panthers secondary, right now, it really hasn't cost them much. They had the one touchdown called back, but nevertheless, Panthers are going to have to make some adjustments at halftime. Be interesting to see what they do. Let's go back upstairs.
Doug and Kurt, the Coach Peach was out there, and boy, was he giving the officials holy heck over that final play. He felt like they still had time to get the snap off, but the officials said when he said hut, that was all the time there was. It went off the clock, it was over.
So the first half has ended with Permian on top. We'll be back to show you the marching motion.
And organizations is strictly prohibited.
Strictly. The captains have met. The teams are just about ready to come back onto the field, and we'll have the second half of action in a moment. Again, our halftime score has Permian on top of Arlington Lamar 7-0. We'll be back with the second half right after this. And there's a special tribute to the Panther fans, our number one, and those Panther fans have had a big week in getting ready for this game here today. A special pep rally out here at Ratliff Stadium on Thursday night with about 3,000 fans in attendance to salute the team. Another pep rally on Friday morning at the high school. And these fans, not only from Permian, but I know from Arlington Lamar, have been ready for this game all week long.
Right, and I'm trying to read the Arlington Lamar, and it's something about mind and body, but I can't, I never did get it, and they ran through it before I could.
The Vikings are back onto the field. And here come the Permian Panthers.
Well, Kurt, I think we're going to see very, very quickly in this third quarter here exactly what Coach just talked about at halftime, because both teams have got to make some adjustments offensively to try to put some more points on the board. I do not believe in any way that 7 points are going to win this ball game. J.J. Joe has a tremendous passing ability, and he has some excellent receivers with outstanding speed. Permian's going to have to put some points on the board if they're going to have any chance of winning this ball game. And, of course, Arlington has yet to solve the Permian defense. One thing they have done extremely well is throw that middle screen. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustment that Coach Gary Gaines and his staff has made to try to shut that play down.
And there is Coach Gary Gaines on the sidelines after he has visited with his troops. Panthers will receive the second half kick. Dropping deep will be Robert Brown along with Adrian Villa. And to do the kicking for Arlington, Trey Ward. Ward had a field goal attempt in that first half, the best scoring chance that the Vikings had, a 46-yard field goal attempt, which was wide to the left.
Has a very strong leg, and he's got a little bit of a breeze behind him. But here we are, and we're off.
It's a low kick, bouncing on the turf. It'll be taken by Brown at the 3-yard line. Brown back to the 15, will be brought down as he gets across the 15-yard line with good kick coverage, and the Vikings did what they wanted to on that kick, put the Panthers back inside the 20-yard line.
Okay, here we go. We're going to find out real quick what adjustments Permian is trying to make, and also what adjustments that the Lamar defense has tried to make. Good kick coverage coming down the field that time to stop Robert Brown.
So the ball will be spotted at the 17-yard line, and that's where Permian will take it. 1st and 10 as Mike Winchell opens up at quarterback once again, sending Robert Brown to the right, Lloyd Hill to the left. Billings Lane Comer in his backfield, and it is Chris Comer that has the football. Comer a short pickup of maybe a yard before he is brought down. And the Vikings again have contained Comer very well.
A little bit of an adjustment that time. Chris Comer on the little bit of a toss pitch this time, or actually it's a handoff going off tackle. They ran Comer inside during the first half of the ball game, and he went absolutely nowhere there. And that time they tried to move him to the outside, and not much better luck.
Hill to the right. It's Adrian Villa lining up left side on 2nd and 8 from the 19-yard line. Villa comes back in motion as Winchell fakes the handoff, looks to throw. Winchell to Hill. It'll be intercepted by the Vikings, and a flag will fly. The flag after the interception by Warren Waters. Mike Winchell has been picked off.
I believe it was a face mask call that's going to go against Lloyd Hill after the tackle, so that's going to tack it on, and that will give them a penetration. I do believe it may be a 5-yard penalty, which would leave them just outside the 20, but it's going to be very close.
Mike Winchell, just 4 interceptions all year long. 2 of those in the El Paso Andrus game. And that was number 5 on the year.
Set it up on the 21-yard line. That's about as close as you can get to a penetration. This is a pass that I'm sure Mike Winchell would have liked to have had back because the coverage was there all the way.
11-12 to go in the third quarter. The Vikings, the ball at the 21-yard line. They were that close one time previously. A penalty marched them back. Now they put Eubanks in motion as J.J. Joe gets the snap, hands it off. That's a penetration as the handoff goes to Ryan Lyons. Cotty Dean brings him down.
Great start for the Vikings here as they start the second half of play, much like Permian started the first half with a Viking turnover. They start the first half with a Permian turnover. They get the ball down, and they're down to about the 18-yard line now. It's going to make it, this could be the tying points of the ball game.
Under the 11-minute mark, as Brent Ballou goes to the right side, lining up wide left is Chad Cannon. Eubanks in motion. Timeout called by J.J. Joe.
Permian pulled a shift that time, shifting walking a linebacker out to cover the tied up person out there, or the wide out that is, and then marching the corner back as they rotated the strength of their coverage, which confused J.J. Joe. He called timeout very quickly to say, hey, coach, this is not going to work this time.
So the first time out of the second half, early in the second half, with 10 minutes and 32 seconds to go. The Vikings quickly come up to the line of scrimmage now. 2nd and 8 from the Permian 18-yard line. Again, it's Cannon to the left side. Warren Waters, who intercepted a pass, wide right. Eubanks split right. Now Eubanks in motion. Joe hands it off to Lyons. Running room inside the 15 for Ryan Lyons. Steve Womack brought him down, but a nice pickup by Lyons.
Good hard-nosed running by Lyons this time as he lowers his head, hits the hole in a hurry, blasts down there till he's down to about the 12-yard line. Great job of running that time. Lloyd Hill came in to help finish off the tackle by Womack.
7-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 12. To the left, it's Ballou. The right, it's Waters. 3rd and 1. Eubanks in motion. Joe looks to throw. It will be a touchdown for the Vikings as Brent Ballou caught it for 6.
That was quick isolation pattern that time as they simply came right straight down at the quarterback for Permian, and receiver wide open as he steps across the goal line. strong, hard throw by Joe right on target, and a little bit too much cushion, and he got there.
So very quickly in the third quarter, the Vikings come back to close within one. Trey Ward will try to tack on the extra point. Cody Paris with the hold. Snap back, ball down, and that kick is through the uprights. With 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Vikings have tied it up.
You make a mistake in this ball game, Kurt, and it's going to cost you points. The Vikings made a couple of mistakes in the first half of the ball game, an interception pass that killed drives for them, and then Permian makes a mistake here on an intercepted pass. Very quickly, Lamar takes advantage of it. The sign of a good defensive ball club. They got field position from their defense, and the offense shoved it in. Let's take one more look at the touchdown pass. As Joe has an extremely strong arm, he's got time to throw the ball, and watch him as he whistles that ball in there to the receiver. Almost impossible to defend on that type of pattern.
Joe's starting to pile up the numbers now. 7 out of 15 for 121 yards. He has the 1 touchdown, the 2 interceptions in the first half, which did not hurt the team. The scoring drive, 3 plays, 21 yards, 1 minute and 22 seconds after the interception by Waters. Then the touchdown strike from J.J. Joe to Brent Ballou. Trey Ward, who tied it up with his extra point, now back on there for the kickoff where he was just moments ago. Again, the kick along the carpet. It'll be brought in by Brian Johnson. Johnson will take it to the 35-yard line, still going. Across the 35 to the 39. Gutsy run by Brian Johnson.
Defensive end, not too bad at carrying the football there. Does a great job taking the ball, and he runs it like you're supposed to run back a kickoff. Just lower your head and go full steam ahead. Got all the yardage he could possibly get.
Remember back to the first game of the season, Johnson was the starting fullback, and that was before Chris Comer came off the bench. And then to take the starting job with his great running. 1st and 10 from the Panthers' 39. 9:44 to go in the third quarter as Winchell gives it to Billingsley. Billingsley across the 40-yard line, out to the 43. David V. in on the stop, and let's take it down to Doug Strickland.
Curtain down, we've got ourselves a ball game, 7-7. Right after the touchdown for Lamar, things got pretty quiet, but now the sideline perking up a bit. Let's go upstairs.
2nd and 6 at the Panthers' 42-yard line. Chavez in motion, handoff Comer. Comer stopped. That Viking defense was right there that time to rack up Chris Comer.
And that tremendous defense. Matt Zine was one of the first ones out there. He strung the play out and plugged up the hole where it was supposed to be. They put Chavez in motion that time, to try to lead some interference coming around the corner, but they ran right into the teeth of that Arlington defense, and the Arlington defense is motioning to their crowd. Let's get some noise going, folks.
About a 2-yard loss in the play. 2nd and 6 becomes 3rd and 8 from the Panthers' 41. 8.5 minutes to go in the third. As Winchell gives it up the middle to Chris Comer. Comer will take it to the 45. He will be stopped short of a first down, and the Panthers will be forced to punt.
Good, strong defensive action once again. They got some good line movement that time, but Zine worked away off the block and got a hand on Comer to start slowing him down, and then the linebackers came in to finish it off.
Travis West dropping back to punt. Back to receive it will be Chad Cannon, along with Montrese Turner. There's a kick by West. Another nice one will be taken with a fair catch at the 11-yard line by Chad Cannon. And so that is where the Vikings will start it off on offense. And the Viking fans saluting their defensive effort. 7:58 to go in the third. We're all in from our own 12-yard line. Kurt Kaiser along with Don Scott and Doug Strickland from Ratliff Stadium. On the ground, the Vikings will be hit hard. Permian defense led by Ivory Christian. The big hit on Ryan Lyons out of the backfield.
Both defensive teams continue to play excellent football, and that time Christian came off his block and really hit Lyons hard, and he's got some help coming in there from behind, and I'm not sure who that is. I think it was David Fierro.
So Lyons picks up a tough yard. Taking it to the 13 where it's 2nd and 9. Ballou out to the left side. Eubanks or Waters to the right. And Joe looks to throw, and Joe will be brought down, sacked in the backfield by Sweet Pea, Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson does a real good job. He was close many times in the first half, but that time he defeated the block that tried to reach block out there and get him. He got around it and came barreling down on top of J.J. Joe and dropped him to the turf.
3rd down, facing the Vikings, 3rd and 12, and the chant of Mojo goes up from the Permian stands. 6:40 and counting down left in the 3rd. The Vikings bring Eubanks on late, gets in formation. Joe looks to throw. Joe in the middle, it'll be incomplete. The pass intended for Brent Ballou, Stan Wilkins defending, and the Panthers have held.
And that was a big defensive series. This is a big play as he's got some pressure on him, but he's got time to throw the ball. He simply throws it in the ground in front of Stan Wilkins, who was in position to intercept. But the thing that makes a difference there is that gives Permian should get the ball back with good field position.
Trey Ward is in his own end zone. So the return for the Panthers. Ward gets it away. There will be a return by Lloyd Hill. Hill has blockers in front of him. Hill's in Viking territory. He's at the 45. He'll go out of bounds. And the Panthers will start in good field position at the Viking 44-yard line.
I'll tell you what, there are two outstanding defensive football teams down here on the turf at Ratliff Stadium this afternoon. The defenses have made very, very few mistakes today.
1st and 10 Panthers, and this Panther crowd has come alive in the second half after the Vikings have come back to tie up the score. 1st and 10 at the 44. Receivers to the left, Brown and Hill. Winchell gets it back to Chris Comer. Comer will take it down to the 40-yard line.
Once again, trying to force Comer to the outside. Obviously, one of the adjustments that the Permian coaching staff made at halftime is he said, we've got to break the outside loose. We've got to loosen them up with the run. Got to get some yardage there. And Chris Comer, of course, is the man who has done it for Permian all year long. And that's the man they're going to when they need the yardage on the ground now.
I'm going to try it again. David Vaslavic in on the hit. 2nd and 7 at the 40. 5:40 and counting down. Robert Brown is wide left. Hill is to the right. Handoff comes to Billingsley. Billingsley running room. Billingsley on his feet. And he will go ahead very close to a 1st down.
Well, I tell you where they're marking it. It's right on the line. I'm not sure. Oh, they're going to have to call this one. Let me get a look at it.
Great effort by Don Billingsley to keep his feet. Here's the replay again.
Here's the replay. Let's take one look at it. Billingsley does a great job this time of doing it, and I think he got the 1st down. I think he got it by about the nose of the football. Let's take a look here at the measurement. Nope, he likes about 2 inches.
So Don Scott 0 for 1 in the 3rd down guessing game for today. No, he took Ronnie Stapleton's advice. That was his mistake.
Never listen to an Aggie.
So it'll be 3rd and short facing the Panthers, about those 2 inches we were talking about. As Permian has the ball at the Viking 34-yard line. Brown and Hill are both to the right. Comer and Billingsley are split to the right. Winchell ahead for a 1st down.
Just plain old quarterback sneak. Snap me the ball and let's go, folks. Oldest play in football, and it works like a charm.
So Mike Winchell picks up the 1st down.
Split T football.
Okay, let's.
Single wing didn't have a quarterback.
Ah, yes. Clock will continue to move as we come down on the 5-minute mark. 5:15 and counting. Brown right, Hill left. Comer, single man in the backfield. Billingsley a split to the left side. 1st and 10 at the 32. The handoff up the middle to Chris Comer, who burst through the initial line. The ball came loose, I believe, but it was blown dead.
I think the ball came loose after he was on the ground. see where they're going to mark it now. They're up off of the ground. Yes, the ball was dead by the time it came loose, but probably the best effort by Chris Comer this afternoon as he picks up just about 5 yards on the first carry, or give him 4 yards.
Ball to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6, and the Panther fans are on their feet for this series. 4.5 minutes to go in the third, tied at 7. Mike Winchell to Don Billingsley. Billingsley fights off one tackle, can't fight off two, and will be hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely no gain on the play, as I think he fought back to just about the line of scrimmage on the play. No gain one way or the other, just come up, and here we go again. Great play once again by the defensive end that time as he just strung it out to the sideline.
With Sean Tipler making the hit. 3rd and 6. No gain. The ball at the 28-yard line. Under the 4-minute mark, the Viking fans urging on their defense. Winchell to throw. Looking deep for Lloyd Hill, and that will be caught. That's a Mojo touchdown. Lloyd Hill.
An absolutely perfectly thrown fade pattern this time, as Lloyd Hill kept contact, pushing the man to the inside all the way down the field, fades out. Winchell throws it absolutely perfect. No one in the stadium except Lloyd Hill has a chance to catch this football. Watch it as it comes down in Lloyd Hill's hands. He's got it right there. He's the only man that had a shot at it. Falls across into the end zone. That gives them the big touchdown.
Try for the point after. Wilkins to hold. Wiles to kick, and that is through the uprights. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left to go in the third quarter, and the Panthers are back on top.
And if you're keeping track of penetrations, Kurt, that does count as another penetration. Anytime you score a touchdown, it is a penetration. So now they're leading not only on the scoreboard, but they're leading 2-1 in the penetration department.
Lloyd Hill, 5 receptions on the day for 78 yards. The one big touchdown. The scoring drive for Permian. 6 plays. They started from the 44-yard line, so a 44-yard drive. Just over 3.5 minutes, or under 3.5 minutes, about 2:44-yard drive or time on the drive. And let's take you down to the field to Doug Strickland.
Curtain down, that's what we talked about earlier on in the ballgame, that little stop and go pattern. That time, Hill went going. Can't say it, but anyway, he got the touchdown. So the Panthers really needed that one. The Panthers defense have been on the field for a long, long time. They definitely needed the score there, and it was really a gut check time. Panthers come through. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Doug, and we're about ready for the kickoff here. Is 3 minutes, 42 seconds left to play in the third quarter of the game. 14-7 is the score with Odessa Permian lead. Kurt?
Felipe Davila kicks it off. The kick will be taken at the 10-yard line. Brought back by Cody Paris. Paris across to 20 before he's brought to the turf. Adrian Villa was the first man to hit him and bring him down. And the Vikings will start from the 25.
I've been saying this over and over and over all afternoon as we watch the return here. He comes back upfield, cuts across, does a lot of east-west running and not quite enough north-south running, but he was trying to get over to his wall. But this is, once again, as I've said before, a crucial series because the Vikings need to get back in the ballgame.
3:37 left in the third. 1st and 10 Vikings from their own 25-yard line as Joe gives it back now to Lyons, and Lyons will be hit and down. He dove back to the line of scrimmage, but Brian Johnson made the big play. As you'll see it one more time, Lyons the best job he could just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Brian Johnson is taking a more of an outside contained rush this half than he did in the first half, and that blocker is having trouble containing him out there. You can't quite get to Brian Johnson as Brian is able to get around him to the outside.
The Permian fans are trying to rally behind their troops. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Joe pressured, passes incomplete.
Whoa.
In and out of the hands of Warren Waters as Cotty Dean was defending. And the Permian crowd trying to give their team a home field advantage right now.
Boy, I tell you what, this pass is on target, though. Waters probably should have made this catch. Joe does a great job of scrambling back up into the pocket and throwing the football. And the ball's right there. It just got into his body and bounced off.
2:52 to go in the third. It's 3rd and 10, Lamar. A big play for the Vikings to try to stop the Permian momentum. Cannon right. Ballou left. Joe drops back, and he's hit! He's hit! He's down!
He is down right there. They called him down. He tried to dump the ball after he was hit, but he is down, and he's probably fortunate that the official called him down instead of calling him for grounding the football.
Watch how quickly the Panthers were in to get him. Johnson was wide open and scared him. He turned around, and he saw Steve Womack.
But he is already called down. I'll tell you this much. This officiating crew today, I'm not sure who they are or where they're from, but they're doing a tremendous job of calling this ball game. Good officials.
And there's the kick by Trey Ward. It'll be taken by Stan Wilkins at the 39. Wilkins will take it back up near midfield before he is pushed back hard by Paul Harrison. The crew, a split crew from the local chapter and the Fort Worth chapter.
Well, they're good. They're a good crew. They may be split, and they may not be used to working with each other, but they've done an excellent job of calling this ball game today.
The momentum starting to build for Permian. And now it's up to the offense to keep that momentum. The defense has done their job. 1st and 10 Panthers from their own 48-yard line. 2:37 to go in the third quarter. Permian leading 14-7. There's Chris Comer. Comer keeps his feet. Comer is brought down in Viking territory.
Chris Comer doing a very, very good job of running before Ron Hagan finally stops him here. Watch this. Chris Comer really lowers his shoulder and lowers his head. Jumps one tackle there, another one there, hits the man there, and then still picks up about another yard before he finally goes down. Tough running by Chris Comer.
It'll be 2nd down and 5 yards to go for Permian as they have it in Lamar territory. Clock is running, 2:20 left and counting down in the third.
Brian Johnson comes in at tailback in place of Chris Comer.
Winchell has Hill and Brown to the left side. He gives the ball back to Don Billingsley, who goes ahead inside the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3 to go for Permian, as David Mundy made the hit. We'll check out Chris Comer on the sidelines and try to see just exactly why he is not in the lineup now.
After that run, he just simply stood up on the sideline and stepped off the field, and they very quickly sent Brian Johnson in. Not sure whether he was injured or just hurt.
It's 3rd and 3 for Permian at the 45-yard line. Mike Winchell gives it off. No, keeps the ball. Winchell has a first down, out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Great job of faking in the backfield by Mike Winchell that time. He faked it to Brian Johnson, and everybody hits Brian Johnson. Watch this. There are 3 people trying to tackle Brian Johnson while Winchell keeps the ball, moves it down to the 35. Crucial first down for the Permian Panthers.
Warren Waters made the hit, and what a job by Johnson going airborne to continue that fake. 1st and 10 Panthers at the Viking 35. Hill and Brown both go wide left. Backs are split to the left side. Behind Winchell, who looks to throw. Winchell across the middle. No, he's aired it out deep for Hill. Incomplete. About 3 yards in front of Lloyd Hill.
Winchell had some pretty good pressure on him that time. Got hit real hard after he released the ball.
Chris Comer is coming back in the lineup now.
Watch Winchell as he had to throw that ball a long way, and he had to throw it before he was ready to. Timing a little bit off on the pattern. If he had been able to hang on just about a half a second longer, that could have been a big play for the Permian Panthers.
Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. 59 seconds to be exact, as the Viking fans urge on their defense. Villa and Hill to the left. Winchell gives it on the delay to Comer. Comer fighting ahead. Will pick up maybe 2 yards, but not a good gain for Comer. Scott Lofton made the hit. It'll be 3rd down.
I tell you what, this Viking defense is tough. They are a very, very good defensive football team. They've got some strong young men in there that are doing a great job of playing defense.
Another third down, another big third down, facing the Panthers. 3rd and 9 at the Viking 34. Mike Winchell has Brown in motion. Winchell fakes a handoff, looks to throw across the middle. It's caught! First down Panthers, and what a grab by Robert Brown.
Robert Brown, one-hand stab in the air as he runs a little, he's in motion back toward the line of scrimmage, simply breaks off, runs a slant over the middle. Now watch this catch. One hand goes up, grabs the ball, and pulls it down as he is being tackled. Great job by Robert Brown. That's a critical first down. They're very, very close to making another one of those all-important penetrations.
Time running out in the 3rd quarter. Will the Panthers get the play away? No, they won't. The 3rd quarter has ended, and Permian ends it as they're on the move again. After 3 complete from Ratliff Stadium, the 1988 quarterfinal matchup between the Panthers and the Vikings. Odessa Permian leads Arlington Lamar 14-7. This is a KOSA sports production.
In today's business world, the telephone is indispensable. Even the slightest downtime can affect sales and service. That's why Modesto Telephone Systems offers Ultracom AT, a product of Thai Communications, perfect for small to mid-sized companies. Discover the high performance of Ultracom AT and other unique phone systems at Modesto. Home-owned and operated so your investment stays here in your community. With service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call Modesto today for a free cost estimate. Modesto Telephone Systems, your local telephone company, 563-0266.
Honey, Beth is really going to love this new room.
Beth? No, try Alex, like after my dad. Remember him?
No, we're naming our baby Beth after my aunt.
Thanks to our VIP services and our neonatal intensive care unit, AMI Odessa Women's and Children's Hospital is one easy decision.
Well, I happen to have an aunt, too, you know.
Who, Prudence? Yeah. That's no name for a little girl, Willie.
AMI Odessa Women's and Children's Hospital, because you want everything just right.
NCNB Texas's new high-yield plus CDs have attracted over 50,000 accounts. Why? Well,
let's take one more look at this great pass and catch by Robert Hill very quickly as they're out of the huddle. There it is, one-hand stab. Let's go back to live action in Kirk.
Mike Winchell has his troops 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Handoff, Billingsley. Billingsley will be right at the 20-yard line before he is pushed back.
I think they're going to mark it just inside the 20. Let's see. That's where the officials got his foot. Yes, sir.
That's a penetration.
Boy, I mean, that's a penetration by the barest of inches. That makes it 3-1 on the penetration scale.
About a 4-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 6. Spot the ball just inside the 20-yard line as Clint Duncan comes up to the ball. Hill and Brown go to the right side. Comer and Billingsley in the backfield. Winchell to Don Billingsley. Billingsley brought down from behind. A flag will come in on the tackle by Matt Sine.
Matt Sine got a hold of a lot of helmet and face mask that time on the tackle. Don't believe you could call this an intentional face mask. I'm not sure what they're going to call. But he did get a hold of the face mask and really upended him. He was coming down the line of scrimmage. It was different, you know, just trying to make a good play. And he did make a great tackle. However, he got a hold of that face mask while he was doing it.
Captain Brian Chavez is out there with the officials. And for the Vikings, Matt Sine listening in as well. Clock is stopped with 11:12 left in the ball game, and here's the indication: face masking against the Vikings.
I'm not sure whether it's going to be 5 or going to be 15. It's according to how they step it off here. Going to call it a 5, unintentional face mask. Probably a good call, but he simply grabbed him up around the face and neck, and that's the one thing that you just simply cannot do. Probably is the best rule in football today because it has prevented a lot of young men from getting seriously injured.
Look at this stat. According to our statistician Craig Freeman, Permian 196 yards total offense, Lamar 195. 2nd and 1 for Permian after the 5-yard penalty. Comer has the ball. Comer at the 10, inside the 5. That's a mojo touchdown! Chris Comer!
Great run by Chris Comer. They've been trying all afternoon to break Chris on this play. He finally gets the lead block out in front, and he gets a kick out, does a great job of cutting back. Watch the kick out block by Billingsley, and then Comer right here plants his foot, avoids the tackle, and he's home free. Great job of running by Chris Comer. Great lead block by Don Billingsley.
Try for the point after. Wilkins to hold, Wiles to kick. Snap back, ball down, kick, up, and through the uprights. 10 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the ball game. Permian is out in front by 14 at 21-7, and Chris Comer has now carried 16 times for 65 yards.
Lowest output by Chris Comer probably in many weeks. He's been over 200 yards in every game of the playoffs, but that probably was the biggest run that he's done. Let's take another look at it now. Great job here. Watch this lead block by Billingsley. Right there, just buries the man coming up for contain, and then Comer does a great job of cutting back. Another good block downfield there that helps bring him loose. Good blocking, good running, and that's what scores touchdowns.
The scoring drive for Permian, 8 plays, 52 yards, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And the last 2 times the offense has had the ball, they have put it into the end zone.
But don't let anyone forget J.J. Joe has probably the best arm I have seen all year long in a quarterback, and the Viking squad can score in a hurry. So lots of time left, 10 minutes, 52 seconds, plenty of time. They don't have anything to worry about. They've just got to take care of business.
That was Chad Cannon back deep along with Cody Paris. Felipe Davila with the kick. It'll be taken at the 10-yard line by Paris. Paris will be hit as he comes back to the 20-yard line. David Fierro made the initial contact, and the Vikings will start it out from their own 22-yard line.
Excellent play this time by the kickoff unit, special teams unit for Permian, as they break through the wedge, and Fierro goes down there and gets a hold of him and gets him on the ground.
There's 10 minutes and 47 seconds left in the ball game.
And there's some cheering going on both sides of the stadium right now, as everybody knows that this is down to the real critical time of this ball game.
Ballou left, Andrews right, Joe to throw. Joe hit as he throws, incomplete, nobody there.
And that was, that was tremendous play that time by the Permian defense. Felipe Davila gets in there and just absolutely creams Joe right in the numbers. And that's the reason that pass went nowhere.
So the clock stops with 10:43 to go, and let's take you down to the sidelines to Doug Strickland.
Curtain down, it's downright loud down here on the field right now, and for very good reason. Permian really rolling. That last touchdown, a biggie. Let's go back upstairs.
2nd and 10. Joe has receivers wide right, wide left. He rolls out to throw. Davila hits him again. Incomplete.
Felipe Davila really racked him that time, and J.J. Joe is down on the field. Boy, he was hit that time. Nope, he's up on his feet before the trainer can get out there, so he does not have to leave the game. But boy, did he take a tattoo this time from Felipe Davila. Woohoo! Took him and the blocker both and put them down.
3rd and 10 from the 22-yard line. Defensive coordinator Tam Hollingshead watching his troops do a number on the Vikings in the second half right now, but that threat remains of J.J. Joe and those great receivers from Lamar. Joe back to throw again. Joe gets it away, and it will be intercepted by Lloyd Hill. Hill back to the 29. There is a flag on the play. We'll check out the marker. Check out the penalty.
Lloyd Hill does a great job of playing. He's playing center field on this. He is a free safety on this play, and the penalty is against Lamar. It will stand as called, or at least that's the signal of the Permian bunch coming out of the middle of the field.
That's what Ivory Christian was indicating to the sidelines. Is Ivory one of the Panther captains out there right now?
And all they're going to say is, I don't care what we do, we just want the football. No,
apparently it's going to be offsetting penalties.
Offsetting penalties. It's still the ball of Lamar. Offsetting penalties call. Okay.
Big play, or could possibly be a very big play in this ball
Watch
game.
this great interception, though, by Lloyd Hill as he simply cuts right there, right in position, takes the ball, spins, and comes on upfield. But there were offsetting penalties.
Well, wait, they're moving it ahead. They're giving the...
No, they're just calling a simple holding call against Permian. Holding call against Permian.
Panther fans not happy, but they still get behind their defense. First and 10 Vikings at their own 33. 10.5 minutes to go. Joe hands it off to Lyons, who's hit. The first time this series that the Vikings keep it on the ground. Ryan Lyons with a short pickup.
Big penalty call that time against Permian is that kept a drive alive and moved the Vikings on down the field 10 minutes and 11 seconds and counting in this third quarter of play. Viking fans out in strong numbers down here from the Arlington area today. They're to be congratulated on the great job they've done of supporting this team.
Under the 10-minute mark, 2nd and 8. Joe drops the throw. Joe airs it out, and the ball will be caught and dropped. No, it's no catch. It looked like it was caught, and that Greg Sweat had fallen on the fumble. The official said the pass was incomplete after a big hit.
J.J. Joe almost did not get up once again as he took another extremely hard shot. Watch it here on the replay. Whoa, he really gets hit that time. And watch the hit that comes right over here as Lloyd Hill lowers the boom and knocks that football loose. They call it no reception. Whoa. Boy, I mean, the hitting is what one would call intense. There are some real licks being laid on people on that field.
And the Panther defense urging the crowd on. They want that home field advantage here at Ratliff Stadium, and the crowd responds. 3rd and 8 from the 34. 9:51 to go in the game. Joe drops the throw. Joe gets it away. Caught. Hit. Hard. Lyons is down, and the defense is held. Ivory Christian made the hit.
Okay, that's the same play that they made great yardage on this time. But the difference is Ivory Christian's playing spy. He's watching for that middle screen, and as soon as they throw it, he breaks on the football and puts a tattoo on the man and puts him down on the floor.
Another flag, this one going against the Vikings. They'll talk it over with the Panthers, who had stopped the drive at 4th down.
And Mr. Peach, the coach from Lamar, is about 10 yards out on the field right now. He wants to know what the penalty call is.
Ineligible receiver downfield has been the call. They're talking over with the Panthers right now. And I'm not sure why there's such a long discussion.
It is declined, brings up 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down as the ball has been spotted at the 39-yard line. And the Vikings will have to punt. Or will they?
Well, you got to think that they're going to punt with this much distance to go, but
4th and about 4.
There's no tomorrow football, so who knows what they're going to do.
Trey Ward gets a high snap and gets the kick away. It'll be taken with a fair catch by Lloyd Hill at the 29-yard line. And so the Panthers get the ball back with 9 minutes and 32 seconds to go. A 14-point advantage on the scoreboard. And the job of the offense now to run some time off of that clock.
Talking about that clock, I was just standing here thinking, good grief, I don't think it's moved. Are you sure it's working?
It's been a long 4th quarter already, hasn't it?
Very long 4th quarter, and it's just beginning.
Hill and Brown come to the left. Comer and Billingsley are split right, and Comer gets the call. Chris Comer bursts across the 35-yard line.
Great job of carrying the football by Chris Comer this time as he runs really hard right up the middle as he's toting the mail this time, making great move. Had some great blocks on that right side of the Permian offensive line.
A 7-yard pickup by Comer. It'll be 2nd and 3. The ball out to the 36-yard line as we come down on the 9-minute mark. Again, it's Hill and Brown to the left. Comer up the middle again. Comer stopped at the 39-yard line. He'll be very, very close to a first down. I believe about a half-yard shy, but we'll see where they spot it.
Where they're marking the ball down, he's going to be about a foot, 18 inches short of the first down. They're going to call in for a measurement, but I can call this one from up here. He's about a foot short.
Clock is stopped with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the ball game. Permian leading at 21-0 over Arlington Lamar. As the measurement gives Mike Winchell a chance to talk it over with Coach Gary Gaines, it will be 3rd and short.
About 18 inches short. Boy, I tell you what, Kurt, whoever paid their whatever it was, $6-8 to get into this ball game today, got their money's worth, because this is a tremendous football game. Tremendous football game. Two great defensive ball clubs out there just playing their hearts out.
3rd and short for Permian from their own 39. Winchell keeps it, has a first down.
All right, that's a little bit different for the quarterback sneak. Winchell took the ball, stepped outside, and just dove over right behind his, or between his guard and his tackle outside to pick up the first down. But it counts.
Robert Brown will take the play in from the sidelines from head coach Gary Gaines in his 3rd year with the Panthers, who has coached this team to a 10-2 season so far, hoping 11-2 would take them on to the semifinals. Hill to the right, Brown to the left. Brown comes back in motion as Winchell looks to throw. He's looking for Robert Brown, and it will be incomplete. No flag on the play. Robert Brown wanted it.
The official said that the ball was overthrown. It was not catchable, so he did not throw the flag. He was making the sign almost from the time of contact. I don't know whether you can see him in the play or not, but the official calls this immediately. No hesitation whatsoever. The back judge right there that you see starts making the call. He says it's an overthrown ball. There's no chance of catching it, so there is no pass interference.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Permian as the ball is spotted at the 40-yard line. 7 minutes and 59 seconds left in this one. Hill and Brown again left side. Chavez is tight on the right. Billingsley and Comer. Comer has the ball. Comer goes outside. Comer is at the midfield stripe. Past it. Flag flies. Chris Comer is inside the 20, and Comer will take it in. That's a mojo touchdown, but we'll check out the marker.
Clipping call right back here on the 45-yard line. Clipping call right back here on the 45-yard line, and it was a very good call by the official. There it is. Nasty yellow rag calls all the elation to go. No, it's a holding call is what they called it instead of a clip. But he grabs a hold back here. Watch it. You'll see it here. It's a good call. Well, we're tight enough on Chris Comer, I don't think you're going to see it, but it happens about right in here somewhere. It's back on the inside there. And I was watching the play closely, and the call was a good one by the official.
So it'll be 2nd down for Permian, 2nd and 5, as the ball is at the 45-yard line. 7:48 to go in the game. Now the teams have each had a touchdown called back in the game. Lamar in the first half, Permian in the second half. Winchell gives it off to Don Billingsley. Billingsley has a first down and takes it into Viking territory to the 42. The clock keeps going as Ron Hagan made the stop.
7 minutes and 41 seconds as they've stopped the clock to move the chains, but it is an important first down for Odessa Permian, because right now the biggest thing they need to do is they need some time off the clock, because the ball in the hands of J.J. Joe is a very, very frightening thing if you're on the opposing team.
7.5 minutes and counting down. 1st and 10 Permian at the Viking 42. Mike Winchell gives the ball to Billingsley, left side again, inside the 40. Billingsley will take it down inside the 25-yard line. Brent Ballou stopped him, but not before a big gain by number 26, Don Billingsley.
Matt Sine's the man who gets over here and makes the tackle, and that's all the way from a defensive line position, a two technique if you'll have it. Watch him chasing Billingsley and catches him from behind. Matt Sine is a legitimate ball player. Believe me, friends, he has really made life tough on Permian's running backs tonight.
The Panthers have the ball at the 22-yard line, under the 7-minute mark. Winchell has receivers to the right, but he keeps it on the ground up the middle to Chris Comer, who takes it inside the 20-yard line to the 19.
That's another penetration.
Don Billingsley on the day, 11 carries for 72 yards, and he's had a great performance.
Right, Chris Comer here, and this is a play that I think Coach Gaines called simply as designed as a penetration. Pick that up, and then let's go for the score if you can. But penetrations are so important in the tie-breaking system in high school playoff in the state of Texas.
6:15 and counting. 2nd and 7, Permian. At the 19. Winchell. Winchell keeps the ball. Winchell will get back. No, he won't. He'll end up losing a couple on the play.
And he lost the penetration in the process. No, he didn't lose the penetration. He got the penetration, but he lost on the play. Okay.
It'll be 3rd down facing the Panthers now after a 2-yard loss. 3rd and 9. The ball back to the 21-yard line. As you see Mike Winchell running for his life, trying to get away from Scott Adzigian.
Very good.
Brown and Hill come to the left. 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. Winchell to throw across the middle, completed to Robert Brown. Brown inside the 15. Brown down close to a 1st down. I believe they will spot him just a little short.
Going to spot it a half a yard short of the 1st down, but you can bet this is 4-down territory for the Permian Panthers. Either that or it's field goal time. But I don't think he's going to go for a field goal. I think he's going to go for it. If they don't make it, they leave J.J. Joe and the Viking offense a long, long ways away from pay dirt.
4th and 1 at the 13-yard line. Winchell. Long count. Gives it back now to Don Billingsley. Billingsley dives ahead, and he will not have it.
Yes, I don't know. He's marking it. Where he's got it marked, it is short. It is short by 3 inches. It is short by 3 inches, and it's going the other way, folks. He had to get across the 22-yard line, and he did not make it. He made it to the 23-yard line, so he's a yard short, pardon me. Ball goes over on downs, but it's long, long ways away.
4:41 left in the game with a timeout on the field. Will take time. Permian leading 21-7. We'll be back with more action in a moment.
Pay close attention, as this is very scientific. It's your fuel system. Notice it's filthy, but you must not despair. Simply go to Diamond Shamrock and fill your tank with super unleaded GTC. Gas that cleans. Quite clever, actually. GTC has the power to clean your filthy fuel system, and as Mummy used to say, keep it clean, eh, Mummy?
Super unleaded GTC, the gas that cleans from Diamond Shamrock.
The next time your family sits down for a delicious home-cooked meal, serve them the best from Furr's. Del Monte canned vegetables, spinach, cream or whole kernel corn, French or cut green beans, 2 cans for 89 cents. 10-pound bag fresh russet potatoes from Colorado, 99 cents. Gino's frozen assorted pizzas, 89 cents. Furr's, where good food is our only business.
The price of gold and silver changes every hour of every day, and you'll always get the best price at the Vault. The Vault, where gold...
The Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 11. Ballou to the right. Long count by Joe. He looks over the defense, now hands it off up the middle. Deckard again will take it up the gut for about 5 yards. Ivory Christian made the hit, and that clock shows less than 3 minutes to go in the game.
Continue to keep the ball on the ground here. I'm not sure exactly what the thinking is. Maybe he feels like he can pop one because Permian is totally expecting to pass. But with 2 minutes and 47 seconds and counting down left on the clock, not a lot of time to score 2 touchdowns.
3rd and 5 for the Vikings from their own 47. Joe on the reverse. Womack is there. They're down. Steve Womack made the big hit on Warren Waters and brought him to the turf.
And that brings up a 4th down and 10 yards to go, but I really don't expect a punt this time out of the Vikings, because any chance they've got is going to have to come. There's a player hurt on the field.
That's Jay Eubanks on the field.
Trainer coming out to check on him. Both, the Vikings used 1 timeout earlier in the second half, so they only have 2 remaining. But that's going to bring up a 4th down. However, as I said, I expect J.J. Joe and his offense to remain out there on the field because they're down by 14 points. They've only got 2:19 left on the clock.
Let's take it down to the sidelines to Doug Strickland.
Right now, Curtin Don, the defense really having to play tough for those Panthers. This is really gut check time as Lamar really moving the football. Panther defense cannot let up. This is a big play. Lamar team, we've seen it throughout the ball game. Big 4th down play. Take it away, guys.
4th and 10 for the Vikings. J.J. Joe looks to throw. Pressured by Johnson. Gets it away, but he's hit. Incomplete. Ivory Christian was there. The pass to Ricardo Deckard, and Ivory made sure he did not catch it.
Boy, I tell you what, that was the biggest defensive play of a big defensive ball game right there, because what that was a little flat pass out here. I really believe that it was meant to be a lateral, and I'm not sure but what it was. I really have to look at that again, but I think it was meant to be a lateral and then another pass down the field, but Ivory Christian wasn't buying any part of it.
The Viking defense has been held to 25 yards in total offense. The offense has been held to 25 yards in this 4th quarter. As the pitch comes back to Chris Comer, he'll pick up 1.5 yards maybe as he gets it to the 40-yard line. Second and 9 facing the Panthers after a 1-yard pickup by Comer. Take the ball just shy of the 40-yard line.
21-7. Of course, the winner of this ball game will place the winner of the Carter-Marshall game, providing that's not Carter, and if it's Carter, then the winner of the court battle, and we don't want to get into that.
2nd and 9, Permian, as Winchell gives it on a delay to Comer, and he's hit in the backfield. Viking defense there to read that one, as David Vaslavic made the hit, and Matt Sine was also there, but that clock keeps ticking away. Vikings will call a timeout to stop the clock with 1 minute and 12 seconds left.
1 minute, 12 seconds, trailing by 14 points. But for some reason, Kurt, I don't think the Permian fans at this point can breathe any sigh of relief. And let me tell you, I don't see anybody leaving much. Few cars leaving the stadium, but most of them are staying right here till the end of this one.
It's been an amazing second half performance by Permian after Lamar took the early momentum in that 3rd quarter by forcing a turnover, taking it into the end zone, and tying it up early. Then it was the Permian team that got that momentum back and have not let up since. That's Mike Winchell visiting with Coach Gary Gaines, who will head on back to the field now with a 3rd and 11 in front of him. And 1 minute and 12 seconds on the clock. You see the yellow on the far side from the Lamar Viking fans who have made the long trip out here to Permian, to Odessa, to watch this quarterfinal game. Winchell gives it to Comer. Comer inside the 40-yard line as the Panthers keep it on the ground and keep that clock moving, but the clock will stop very shortly as the Vikings call a timeout. Their final timeout, and the Panthers will go on 4th down. About a 5-yard pickup by Comer to make it 4th and 6. The Permian Panthers trying to improve to 12-2 on the year. Both of these teams came in at 11-2. And a Viking team that has not allowed a single point in 3 playoff games. has allowed 21 here today against the Permian Panthers.
Still gives them pretty good defensive average. That's only it's less than 7 points a game.
So Mike Winchell will return to the field for at least one more play, and if the Panthers can pick up a first down, you can put this one in the victory column, and it's getting pretty close to that column already. 4th and 6. Winchell and Hill come out to the left. Billingsley and Comer in the backfield, and Comer will have the ball. Comer will take it inside the 35, won't pick up the first down. So the clock will stop as the Vikings have exactly 1 minute left to make up a 14-point deficit.
That's a big, big call for anyone, even a quarterback like J.J. Joe. He's got to air the ball out, and he can't even afford to throw the short patterns. He's got to be throwing the ball deep at this point. Comer is 24 yards, and he has hit 100 yards for the game.
So he has gone over the 100-yard mark. Or no, he hasn't gone over it. Our total showing right at it. 1st and 10 Vikings from the 34-yard line. Joe back to throw across the middle, completed to Jeff Andrews. And Andrews will take it out to the 48-yard line for a first down.
Okay, I want to remind everyone again, the rights of this game are owned by the University Interscholastic League and Diamond Shamrock by Odessa Permian High School and Arlington Lamar High School. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of this game without the express written permission of these schools and organization is strictly prohibited. It's up to you.
45 seconds left as Joe looks back to throw across the middle, and it will be incomplete. No, it's intercepted. It was off Jeff Andrews, and the Panthers come up with it. Greg Sweat picked it off of Jeff Andrews.
And literally picked it off of Jeff Andrews. Watch this. This is one of those plays. I don't know what to tell you. The ball is thrown. It's right there. It bounces, and Greg Sweat just scoops it
Whoa.
up. Close.
About
Close.
an inch from the carpet. Good job by number 38.
Official was right on top of the call, and these officials have been in position all afternoon.
39 seconds away from a quarterfinal victory and an advancement to the Final Four. The Panthers just will kneel down and start to run that clock out, and the celebration will begin. Cotty Dean, Billy Steen salute the fans and start to celebrate. 23 seconds away and counting down. The Panthers will run one more play.
Yep, they have to run one more play. They have to snap the ball again, but it'll simply be a kneel down.
And now you can let that celebration begin officially. The seconds tick off the clock, and the Permian Panthers are back in the Final Four.
Semifinal appearance by the Permian Panthers one more time around, and of course they play the winner of the Marshall and Dallas Carter game at our, and if Dallas Carter is the winner, then they've got to decide the court battle Monday in Austin as to whether it will be Carter at Marshall. So I can't tell you anything. Who knows what a judge is going to do?
We hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast of quarterfinal football from Ratliff Stadium. And let's give special credit not only to the players that we've been showing you all day, but to the entire KOSA TV crew, not only for today, but the entire season of football. Our postseason producer-director is John Watts. The playback director, Paul Robliotti. Our hard-working graphics operator is Jill Hoffman-Starnes. Enduring some very harsh weather conditions, especially in Amarillo and El Paso, and still giving us some great pictures, our camera people Larry Shackelford and Todd Taylor. Our slow-motion replays you see come from Bobby Primera and the rest of our KOSA TV crew who has been bringing you these games all season and postseason. A lot of hard work in getting the equipment set up and traveling. We've had flat tires along the way. We've had all kinds of exciting things.
Some others that have done a great job. Mike Sneed has been in here dragging cables around today, running slow-mo on other things, and it's been great, and we've enjoyed it, and we get to do it one more week.
One more time, and that'll be next week for the Permian Panthers. Again, the final score from Ratliff Stadium in the 1988 quarterfinal matchup between the Panthers and the Vikings. Permian wins it 21-7. And this is a KOSA TV sports production.
And we want to thank a number of people who have been the people who have made this game possible for you to listen to today, including Medessa Telephone, Hollander Chiropractic Clinic, Elmore, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep of Big Spring, the Women's and Children's Hospital, Furs Supermarket, Houston Copeland Insurance, and also we're brought to you in part by Diamond Shamrock. For Kurt Kaiser, I'm Don Scott. Stay tuned for the post-game show. We've enjoyed it.
In today's business world, the telephone is indispensable. Even the slightest downtime can affect sales and service. That's why Medessa Telephone Systems offers Ultracom AT, a product of Thai Communications, perfect for small to mid-sized companies.
To quarterback Mike Winchell, who had a very fine game. Very tough ball game against the Lamar Vikings, but nevertheless, a big win for you guys. You have to be pretty happy.
Oh, yes, sir, we are. There's only 4 teams left in the state of Texas, and, you know, you make it this far, it's a big accomplishment, but most of us done better here last year, and we want to take it just one step farther.
Now, that first series, the Lamar defense really came at you strong. A little concern, perhaps?
Well, we knew they were going to do that. It was no big concern. It happened the first play of the game. That was a little worrying, but our offensive line adjusted well, and, you know, I didn't have any problems after that.
Looked like the game turned around when you went up 14-7. You threw the touchdown pass to Lloyd Hill. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was just a simple fly route or a go route or what you want to call it. And there was a man coverage, and I looked out there and saw that, and I was going to lay it up high and long and let him run under it, and that's what he did, because he's tough, especially if you're not as tall as he is. For anybody, I don't care who you are, to cover him one-on-one.
So next week you got another ball game. You got to be pretty happy about what you've had happen to you here this season.
Oh yes, sir. You know, we got this far last year, and you know it was a memorable year, but we want to take it just one step farther and go to the state championship.
All right, Mike. Great ball game. Congratulations, and best of luck to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mike Winchell, our Western National Bank Offensive Player of the Game. We'll be back with our Defensive Player of the Game after this from Western National Bank.
I'm Gary Gaines, head football coach at
Club. Second half, it looked like you really turned it on a lot.
We knew that the defense was going to have to win the game, so we had to tee it up and stop their well-balanced team.
Now, the first half, they were getting some big passes on you there in the secondary. Did you make any real adjustments at halftime to try to shut these guys down?
We didn't make too many adjustments. We just came out and played a little bit harder than we did the first half.
A little bit worried at all at halftime?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a close game, and they weren't going to give up, so we're going to have to play them to the last second.
And you got some big plays, some big blitzes there in the second half. Were you getting in a little bit easier?
Pretty much. We were worried about containing the quarterback so he wouldn't make too many big plays.
And next week now, you got another big ball game, and really, you got to be pretty happy with what you've done so far this year.
Yes, we're going to go back this week and work real hard because we're going to have tough competition from now on.
They don't get any easier, do they?
No, they don't.
All right, Brian, thank you very much for stopping by. Best of luck to you next week, and let's see what happens.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Brian Johnson, our Western National Bank Defensive Player of the Game here at Ratliff Stadium. The Panthers win it 21-7. Back with a final word from Don and Kurt right after this from West.
First of all, looking at the team totals, Permian ends up with 192 yards on the ground as opposed to 78 for Lamar. Through the air, the Vikings had the better of it. It was J.J. Joe, 10 of 25 for 156 yards. Permian, 7 of 15 for 96. Total offense, Permian, 288. Lamar, 234. In first downs, the Panthers have a 3 advantage, 16-13. As you see, Todd Taylor and Mike Sneed, well-dressed members of our crew down there. Punting-wise, both teams punted 5 times. The average for, speaking of well-dressed, here we are. Lamar, 42 yards average, and Permian, 33-yard average. Penalties, Permian 3 for 30, Lamar 4 for 25. Penetrations, Permian won that war as well, 4-1. The Panthers, no fumbles, 1 interception, and Lamar throwing 3 interceptions. J.J. Joe throwing 3 interceptions.
A little bit further breakdown that you might look at for the Permian Panthers as far as the people who did what today. Comer had 24 attempts. He picked up an even 100 yards for a 4.1 average, according to our stats, unofficial, of course. Billingsley had 11 attempts, 72 yards, 6.5 average carry. That's pretty good, especially for Don Billingsley coming off that knee injury. He did real well. Winchell passed 17 times, he attempted, 15 attempts. He completed 7 for 96 yards and 1 touchdown. and that's the way it kind of stacked together there. Winchell, by the way, had 7 attempted rushes and picked up 14 yards. That's 2 yards a carry. I can figure that one out myself.
So the 12-2 Permian Panthers continue this 1988 season for the Lamar Vikings. Their season ends at 11-3. Again, the final from today's quarterfinal game from Ratliff Stadium has the Permian Panthers beating the Lamar Vikings 21-7. For Don Scott and our